Hello, everybody. It's your boy Noble from the Knowledge Show. I want to talk to you today about common sense. And it seems like the world is full of people that's not using common sense. It's something we don't do anymore for some reason. I have a radio show called The Mr. Knowledge Show on South99Radio.com. You know, we get a lot of callers. We get people that email, people that chat. So you can pretty much get a broad look at what people thinking, plus on Facebook and Twitter. And in 2016, instead of growing, it's like we falling back in our minds. Because everybody raises the people and tell the people what to do. What I mean by everybody, I mean the media. Preachers that preach good. Lecturers that lecture good. You have all these organizations and all these so-called leaders that's leading the people. And the people is going every which way but the right way. And the right way is use your common sense, use your mind. That's what the Creator gave it to you for. We don't do that. Not at all. That's the last thing we do. Because if it makes sense to us, it makes sense to us, it's true. No research, no proof. It just sounds good. That right there is our major problem. I'm talking black folks. I'm black. I mean, believe it or not, it's the world major problem. But right now I'm addressing black folks because, you know, like they say, we was the last to come up in America after the fall of slavery. And we the slowest to reach our human peak as of a nation of people that's climbing. We're climbing, don't get me wrong. You know, we have some of us climbing in knowledge and self-resources, because that's the best thing. You know, some of you talking money. Money is nothing. You know, compared to knowledge and knowledge of self, and compared to spirituality to get where you need to be in spirituality. Money can't do that for you. But we think money can, so we can even talk about money. It's amazing how, I'm going to say religion. Religion turned people too religious, as what Paul said. In the Bible, you are too religious. And it's true. You know, when you're too religious, what I want or what I feel is right and you're wrong. And that started after Christ. I said it once before in the recording. It started after Christ. It really did. Christ didn't start that. If you read the Bible, you will know Christ did not start that, man. This was started after the case in 1001 AD. What's called Orthodox religion. That's what it's called. Meaning, if you wasn't doing what I was doing back then, you was getting killed. And this is Christianity, Islam. It was everyone that was doing something back then. Mostly Christianity and Islam back then. And if you don't understand, do your research and stop listening to everybody. You will know. Most people became Christians not by the preacher, not by the hand of Christ, but by the sword. You was getting your head chopped off, you know, physically. And that's kind of like what's going on mentally today. If you don't believe in what I believe in, you're wrong, you're going to hell, you're going to heat, then I turn my back on you. That's our problem. And we so used to that. So when even the ones that fall away from the Christianity religion, they get into what they want to call organizations, but it's still the same MO because that's what you used to. You know, you get into the Hebrew Israelite culture. You get into the Hindu. It doesn't matter. You an Egyptologist. You yelling Ma'at. You yelling Hotep. But you still to the point to whether if you're not saying what I'm saying, you're wrong, and it's not gonna work. You're wrong, I'm right. That comes from that. That comes from that. So we so used to that. If it makes sense to us, let's talk about the media. They've been giving out statistics on black people forever. Black folks been the hot topic for the media forever. For its murder, whatever, man. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's bad or black folk on it. So what that do? That makes the world scared of black folks. And let me tell you something. They really are. You know, if you don't get to other cultures, or if you don't be surrounded by people or work with other people, you wouldn't really know this. You think this, but you don't really know how scared they is. Let me tell you. At one point in time, I started driving cabs. Now, this is in New Orleans. And when you drive cabs, they have Arabs, even Russians in New Orleans. You have all kinds of races driving cabs. Let me tell you something. They would pass up a black person in a minute. They would pass you up every time, every function. When I'm riding around, when I was riding around, man, I pick somebody up. Man, you know how long it took me to get a cab? They just passed me up, man. Some people tell me they on lunch. They do not trust black folks. Why is that? Why is that? Is it the media fault entirely? Is it black people's fault? Is it a combination of both? My guess is a combination of both. Because we are like children. And the reason we are like children, because, like I said in the beginning, we don't use our common sense. We don't use the brain the Creator gave us. We just do not use it. Period. What you mean by that? What I mean by that is this here. For example, on Facebook, you have people with, you had this big black power movement now that entered the South. It's been in the East Coast. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. I'm a conscious brother, but I'm a conscious brother that use my own mind. I'm free when it comes to mind. I'm really free, and that's the best thing you can be. When you free and when you not obligated to go by this one thing because you believe if you don't, you just going to hell to despaired, or when you free like that, then you can think, and stuff go to making that made sense to you don't make sense, and then you look at the logic like, dang, how can I fail for that? How can I fall for that? Well, you fall for that when they tell you faith, and there's nothing wrong with faith, when you get deeper into it, but faith in something you know about, not faith in something you believe in, because you can know, believe it or not. That's something they don't tell you. It's stuff you can know. It's stuff you can believe in. People say stuff like, well, okay, let's just say, I'm gonna tell you about this recent post I seen. They have pictures of famous people look like Indians, and people are spreading these pictures around, man. They spreading it around like they know for a fact this is truth. They spreading these pictures around, and it's like, listen, we didn't come over on a slave trade. We been here. These people, look at these people how it look like. Man, first of all, nobody's saying, and not saying it's not true. I'm not saying it's true. I'll get to that later. First of all, man, where the pictures coming from? You do know they can edit stuff out, right? First of all, where you get these pictures from? If these Indians from Lord knows how many hundreds of years back, where you get the pictures from? And how you compare it to Mike Tyson And this, how you found people that look just like, where it come from? But you sharing it like it's truth. You actually sharing it like it's true. Like you know for a fact it's true. See. Can't think for yourself, man. Did you do your research on that, or you just saw it and made sense to you and you just went with it? And you putting it up to people like it's true. Like, look at this. Do you know people that's intelligent? Do you know people that do their research, that actually do the work? Look at which you shouldn't care, but it's true. They shake their head at you. Only people that listen to that is people. I'm not going to say dumb. I'm going to say people that just don't care to do the research. Now, let me get on that. Of course, black folks was here. We are indigenous people. We are the indigenous people. We was all over the earth. Of course, they had black people here before they brought kidnapped slaves and sold slaves from their own family to America. Of course, it was black people here. Of course, man. You know, but that picture did not convince me of that. My research and my studies and I have a desire to know our history, our story. That's where it come from. I didn't see a picture and say, look at this. Or even show my child, look at this. This is what it is. Man, you think you got away from, you say you're not religious no more, which is nothing wrong with religion. You just got to know how to use it. You cannot, listen, you shouldn't use it how it was taught to you. Because it was taught to you to keep you at bay. It's another way to use it. You have to do your research. But we don't do our research. We a bunch of listeners, and makes sense, we run with it. We want to go to church to feel good. Nobody's teaching you anything. They're keeping you at bay. Let me tell you what my research showed me. Now, it's my research. Could be wrong, could be right. All these years, my grandmother, my mother, grandmother before her, which I don't know before her, I didn't know her, in the church 30, 40 years, they know scripture quotes, but they don't know what it means. The scriptures come from ancient times, especially the book of Moses. And these was used for when you was young. They told stories to get you prepared for the main meal as you grow up. So these children's stories that was truth in a metaphysical way was getting you prepared for the truth. That's why they said the truth will set you free. Seek knowledge. People take that as remembering scriptures as seeking knowledge. That's not true. It's way more work than that. You have to understand what this means. You have to understand what certain stuff means in the scriptures in order to get closer to the Creator like you say you want to be. Now, some people can't handle it, so they go off faith. Now, let me tell you something. If you have faith and you believe in so hard, it still can happen for you. Meaning, but you wouldn't know where it come from. Meaning, if I have faith that my bill's going to get paid, if I have faith that my children are going to be okay, and my faith strongly is strong, then that's going to happen. Where it come from? Where it come from? You say God. Who is God? Where she at? Where is this energy at? And how is this energy doing this for you? You don't know that. All you know is, hey, it's somebody in the sky pressing buttons. That comes from studying and seeking knowledge. And the truth is there. Some people hear that. Oh, what are you trying to say? There's no God? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's impossible. Of course, there's a creator, but where is this energy? How does energy come about? How do you fit in with this energy? And how, when you have in your mind so strong what you believe in, how it comes true. Let me give you an example. I know people that's millionaires. They can't fathom not being a millionaire. Even if when they fall off, all they think is millions. That's so set in their mind, they cannot dream of anything else. Even when I didn't seen them hit rock bottom. I didn't seen one hit rock bottom and have another million in less than a year. You know why? Because it's set in his mind. I can't see past 1 million. I'll give you an example. In our case, people that's not as fortunate human-wise when it comes to money. Some of us have to have Jordans. We don't have a car. Let me go this route with it. You a female, and you have to have that man. You can't see yourself without a man that go pay at least a bill. That's how you roll. You've been like that. You grew up like that. It's set in your mind. Guess what? All your life, you meet men that pay your bills. Because it's set in your mind. This is like that. Same way with a woman. Same way if you want this man. You always have every man you wanted in your life. If you really wanted him, you got him. By any means necessary. Because it's set in your mind. Because you truly believe you go get him because you want him. And vice versa. Same thing with men. Same thing with material things. You people that's infatuated with Jordans, man, they work at a job that pays $7 an hour. That's no money if you're grown trying to pay bills. They work at a job that's they don't have a car. They catch the bus. But guess what? They go get them Jordans because their mind is set on that. My point is that same thing is faith. You really believe you want to get this, you want to get that. It's set in stone. I'm trying to get you to the point for something that you always do. Your kids have something, and it's small or big. It doesn't matter. It's all about your mind. Your kids, they hair gonna stay combed regardless. You poor as hell probably, but they hair gonna be combed. They're gonna have barrettes in their head. They're gonna have your son hair gonna be cut. You know, regardless. That's set in your mind. Guess what? That's gonna happen. You're gonna make sure that happen. That money is gonna be there for that to happen because it's set in your mind. You get what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's set in your mind, so it's gonna happen that way. Is that faith? I'm not talking about just keep saying it's going to do nothing, which that works too. How they say it first starts in your mind, then you speak it into existence. People don't understand how powerful the mouth is. That's why you have to watch what you say. Because if you're really truly feeling it, it'll happen. And you wonder where that comes from. That comes from you. You understand what I'm getting at? We lost that. We don't use our common sense. The media tell us one thing, we roll with it. You know, we own the internet talking about black folks. We own the internet talking about our own people because the media and the news been exploiting us for 30 years. I'm going to tell you something. It's not like it's new. You know, it's not new. It's not like it's new. You know what I'm saying? It's not new. We've been exploiting on the news for 30 years, but yet you act like it's something new. So you yelling, my people, my people, my people, all my people. I cannot make excuses for my people. My people are so stupid. My people are this. We just savages. We this. We should stop that. And I put that on the segment we should stop, black people should stop part one, because you don't understand your spirituality and your energy. You don't understand you the reason why it's still going on. You giving energy to these entities that's exploiting us like this. And let me stop you before you say you're not helping. You just talking. You being seen. To me, you look like I said before, you look like that guy when I'm talking to him. We having a good conversation. We talking clearly to each other. We can understand each other. Soon a white man come around or a white woman, his head go on his shoulders. He go to smiling, cheesing, and his whole dilemma change. His dilemma changed to what he feel like that white woman want him to be, instead of being himself. That's what you look like. Because let me tell you what you have done. The ones that got away. The ones, really always the ones that sit there and talk that mess about their own people. Like, you know, like they really know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You haven't met, most of y'all haven't been around, hung around anybody but black people. You know, I was fortunate enough to travel and know all cultures. I was fortunate enough, I ain't gonna say it was fortunate, because a lot of that stuff was back in the days when I was running with a gang. And when I ran with that gang, I understood one thing. If I go to California and I'm in a Mexican neighborhood, the Mexicans killing Mexicans. If I'm in a Puerto Rican neighborhood in Chicago, them Puerto Ricans killing Puerto Ricans. It's not an excuse, but what I'm saying is it's just not your people. So but you say this, well, I'm not concerned with them, I'm concerned with mine. You're not concerned. You're just talking. Because if you was concerned, you would be trying to do something to stop it. Because that's what it takes. That's why the white people was at power when they took over America, when they snatched America from the so-called Indians. They made it happen. They put the trash where the trash at. They cleaned up what they could, and that's what it was. They didn't get money and leave the hood. Ain't that's what we was taught? We got to get up out of here. We got to leave. Ain't nothing wrong with leaving, taking your family to a safe place. But why you never look back? You know they have white people that say that about us, because it's true. Y'all never look back. Matter of fact, the owner of the Lakers said that, and people didn't like it, but he was not lying. Well, the ex-owner of the Lakers, when he made that racist comment, they so-called knocked him down, but yet they gave him double what the Lakers owe. That's how white folks do. You know, so they didn't knock him down. I mean, they helped raise them, but they took it from him because the media was on him. He said, y'all don't look back. He said, y'all don't help y'all people. They don't. You know, because we socially engineered. You know what we think about when something happened like that? Marching. Respect to Dr. Martin Luther King, but he was put here for that. He was put here for that. We were supposed to advance from that, but that's all we do now because we don't know anything else. Only thing we gonna do is march and picket. We don't know that if we gather up our community and get our resources together, then we'll get some type of power, and our word will mean something. They just not going to arrest a police officer and then 3 months, a year down the line, not convict him. Once they arrest him, they're marching in the picket and stop. You're not advancing. I doubt if that's what Martin Luther King wanted, for you to just keep marching and not advance the struggle. You know, let me give you an example from what I mean by resources. My stepdad told me this. He said one time when they got a place called Michoud in New Orleans. He said when he went into Michoud, it's where the Vietnamese was staying at when they came down here. He said he went into the store to buy something, and it was a meeting. They had people with tattoos and suits, and asked him what he wanted. He didn't know it was closed. The door was open. And he said he was like nervous because he was wondering what was going on. But he found out later that was the money bank. You know, these people was holding their own money. And what they would do was, if you was Vietnamese and you wanted to own a business, they would give you that money for that business. They would tell you stuff like, but you can't hire nothing but Vietnamese. All Vietnamese you only can hire. They'll tell you that. And in 5 years, you have to sell it. But in those 5 years, you know, you buy your house, you buy your cars, you save money, you put your children through school. But in 5 to 10 years, you're going to have to sell it. In some cases, in a lot of cases. Now, what they was doing was building their community. Some of them had money, and they was helping build their community. They wasn't marching, yelling yellow power. They wasn't doing any of that. And even though they got help, well, you say they have help. None of you was there. None of you have proof. That's just a rumor that goes around. But yes, I'm pretty sure they got help. And I know for a fact they got a little help because I studied it. Most of you didn't. Y'all just hit us from around the way with everybody. You don't know what they was doing. You don't know what kind of help. You don't know at all. You heard from somebody. That's what we do. But they was being discriminated against in a lot of ways, even though they got a little help. I know black folks didn't get nothing. But still, they was building their community. And they built it. These people got money today. Now, let me tell you something. I knew this guy. He was a Vietnamese. I was talking to him, and he said, man, in the 90s, man, it was so much murders. And I thought he was talking about, I thought he was talking about the blacks in the 90s because New Orleans was bad in the 90s with the murders. He was talking about Vietnamese. He said, man, it was Vietnamese killing each other, Asians killing each other. That never hit the news, though. I didn't know that. And I lived in New Orleans. He talking about New Orleans. He said from the West Bank to Mizzou, it was murders. You had Chinese gangs murdering each other. Now, this guy, he was rich. He got money. He was telling me this. And he was saying it's better because in the 90s, it was bad. And he was talking about his race. He wasn't talking about us. And we was the ones on the news every day. I said, wow. I said, man, I didn't know that. He said, yeah. You know why? Because that wasn't on the news, baby. See, that's all we know was on the news. They exploit us like crazy. And y'all help them. Y'all give that energy. Black people, your energy is powerful. Your spirituality is powerful. When you give them that energy, you make it stronger. They know what they're doing. They know how you're going to act. They do stuff to know how you're going to act. These people, I ain't talking about regular white folks. See, that's your problem. You think your next door neighbor and all this. Man, the people have no power. We talking about the people with the power. Real white folks, what white folks mean. They know what they're going to do. These people would kill people just to see how you're going to react. And they learned something right now. They still going to march. We're not going to get together. We're not going to get together. We have so many millionaires. You know, people all want to blame everything on Illuminati. You know, all this was set out for us, man, to give energy to all these entities. You know, we don't own it. We don't own the internet. We don't own YouTube. The same people we talking about own this stuff. And you think they're going to put out information about or let out information about themselves that they think going to harm them? Your knowledge on what you want to call Illuminati, your knowledge on what you want to call mischiefs towards blacks, just because you have that knowledge, what you think is right or wrong, it's not causing any effect on it. That's not the way to do it. You have to learn something. What's in your face, you got to learn to look the other way. You got to learn if it come to you too easy, you got to learn to step back and think about it. We don't do that. We don't use our common sense, which is the whole topic of this speech, whatever I'm giving. We don't use our brain anymore. We're robots. I have a family. And I'll be honest with you. Christmas. I tell my kids, man, my wife get mad. She don't get mad, but she don't like it because she programmed. You know, you want us to work day and night and buy kids everything and tell them a fat white man named Santa bought it. And then tell them it's Jesus' birthday. How does the two connect? Well, it's for the kids. It's for the fun. Let me tell you something. You raise your kids on how to have fun. I still buy them presents. I could buy them presents any day. But if they come ask me, I bought that. for you to enjoy. Ain't no fat white man named Santa. I'm not a racist. I'm just being real. Black people can't be racist. Let me say this. I don't hate anybody. I'm too much focused on trying to wake up the dead bones than even think about hating anybody else. I don't even think about anybody else unless you're in my face. So hatred is nowhere near me. I don't have time for that at all. But we have to start using common sense. Let me get on the conscious world, the so-called conscious world. You too. Y'all don't use common sense. You walk around yelling Hotep. You walk around with your dashikis on. It's no problem. I like that. Make you feel good. That's the important thing. Make you feel good about yourself. Because black folks been feeling bad about themselves forever. So that's the important thing right there. That you feel good. But if you think that's it, that's not it. I mean, it's more to that. You know, you posting stuff on Facebook to make you seem smart. You just want to be seen. Period. That's all it is. You just want to be seen. A lot of you is not seeking or researching any of this. Y'all look at YouTube. Y'all go to a page and y'all read it. Y'all don't try to trace back the past of that knowledge to see if it connects, or use common sense to see if it connects. Let me talk about the Hebrew Israelites right now. I have nothing against them. Shalom. That was my first gateway to being conscious. So I respect it. But that orthodox is what made me fall away from it. You're not going to tell me this man going to hell because he don't have on fringes, man. You know? You're not going to tell me this man going to hell, or this man going to burn in hell because he so-called prayed on a Tuesday and not a Friday. That's what you was told. You don't know that for a fact. You still going on your belief and condemning others for not going along with you on what you believe, because you don't know. You was not there. And another thing, this fact that, now if you go back to the definition, it means ones that cross over. But this thing that God made the world for the Hebrews, cool, cool. Believe that. But don't condemn people that don't believe that. See, your problem is your mind is so closed, you don't open your mind to really, you don't think about that. Everybody during that times when you read the Bible, when Jesus was walking the earth, you had a whole other world doing other things. You know what I'm saying? They had other people going on. That just wasn't the world. You had stuff going on the other side of the world. All four corners, they had people then. And everybody didn't know Jesus that back then. All over the world. You might have heard his name or whatever. I wasn't there. But it was, everybody was doing something. So how can you say it's a Hebrew thing? Quote, now, that's who supposedly written that, was that culture. The Hebrews. Of course God built the world for the Hebrews if I wrote it. I ain't denying it. I'm not saying it's true, but come on, man. Let's use common sense, man. Everybody wasn't doing the same thing, man. They had many, if you do your research, you would know they had many religions going on back then. A lot of them. And if you do your research, you would know they didn't so-called kill Jesus because he was preaching the Hebrew Israelites. They killed him because he stirred up the people. The same reason why they killed Martin Luther King. Same reason why they killed Malcolm X. Same reason why they killed Kennedy and everybody else. When you go to stirring up the people from the people that's running that thing, they're going to kill you. They didn't care about him preaching that religious stuff. And to be honest with you, a lot of that stuff came after he was dead, if you do your research. But hey, to each his own. I don't knock anybody. What I'm saying is stop knocking others for what you believe in, because, man, you was not there, man. It doesn't matter what kind of sense you made or what kind of proof you show or what scripture you show that was written. Ain't no spirit came down here and written that. Ain't no energy came down here and wrote that stuff. Man wrote it. And if you do your research, you'll find out a lot of that was wrote way after he was dead. Way after any one of them was dead. But a lot of people, they say, well, they was walking around with pen and pads, writing everything he do. Whatever, man. I'm not saying I don't believe it, not saying I do. What I'm saying is for you to act like you so knowledgeable and know the facts, unless you could pick me up and take me in a time zone and show me, I'm going to look at you like, okay, that sounds good, brother, and I'm going to leave it like that. You're not going to get me to go around condemning people like I know stuff for a fact. I'm not going to do that. We got to start using common sense. Let me wrap this up and get to the point. My point is this. Number one, use your common sense. Stop letting the internet and the media raise you. Stop judging because the internet and the media exploiting other people to judge. Stop doing that. I mean, you should stop, because you don't know nothing for a fact and you're judging when you're not the one to judge. Because I guarantee it's faults in you. Stop leaving your neighborhood, not looking back, then talking about your neighborhood. You should stop doing that. Because if you're not helping what you're talking about, well, you can talk about all you want. You just look like an idiot to intelligent people. To the people that so-called feel like they're above you and you smaller than them. Yeah. You definitely look like an idiot. Which it don't matter how people look. You're into, but you're not making sense, man. You're really not. You're condemning and you acting like this, but you're not making sense. You're not part of the solution or the cause. You just running your mouth. You should stop talking bad about your own people, because you are a part of those people, and you are no better. You're no better. You should stop that. You should absolutely use common sense. You should start. Wait, don't be scared to say, man, hold up, this don't make sense to me. Let me check that out. Because somebody told you to go to hell for doubting. That's false. That's one thing that was old religions that need to change. Because that never was true. God didn't give you this mind. Created and give you this mind to be dumb. You understand? If it don't make sense to you, don't be afraid to say it don't make sense. Seek knowledge. How you gonna seek knowledge when you just a damn robot and take in everything somebody tell you without even checking it out? Because guess what? Somebody told you if you question it, you're going to hell. It's not true. But I'm going to wrap that, man. And this whole point is start using common sense. Stop being silly. Stop judging and you don't know for a fact. Continue to do your research if you that hungry for knowledge. If you want to help your people, get your people on track. And on track is togetherness. Togetherness bring power, resources. What you want to be spiritually intact or you want to be economically intact? That comes with togetherness and spirituality. Period. No other way. No other way. Once again, it's Noble from the Knowledge Show. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for listening. My show is on South99Radio.com every Wednesday, 5 to 8 p.m. One love.